Hi, Derek coming to you from after the recording to let you know that this recording we had some technical difficulties. There was a bit of a delay between the two of us, and so the conversation got a little awkward. We took a break towards the end to try and clear it up, but couldn't get it resolved, so we wrapped out the episode and put a cap on it. Hopefully the delay isn't too distracting. Please enjoy what you can. Come on. Your local video store card.
A comic book in your back pocket.
Games with no tutorials.
Music you had to discover.
And drinking water straight from the hose.
These are the things us millennials remember fondly. We are the Jennings brothers.
Join us after the streetlights come on
as we race our bikes from the top of the hill
right down memory lane.
Exchange those quarters because this podcast takes tokens.
Hello, Internet. Welcome back to This Podcast Takes Tokens. I am your host, Derek Jennings, with my co-host, Ryan Jennings. And you are now in episode 6. Take the warp pipe to the left, and we will get started. That's right. We are talking Super Mario Brothers 3. Hammers, stars, leaves, P-wings, and super mushrooms. Let's get it going. How you doing? How did it go for you? Did you get to play it?
Man, I tell you what, I played it. Yeah, I played it. I didn't fare as well as I thought I would. But let me start real quick by saying episode 6, man.
Episode 6.
I mean,
that's right.
I don't know. It feels good to be here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rolling along, having fun, and yeah,
halfway to double digits.
I know.
Right.
I know. So yeah,
all right,
I mean,
Super Mario Brothers 3. So I think we should just jump right into it. The big question that we asked at the end of the episode: how far are you going to get before you run out of lives the first time? How far did you make it?
I got like halfway through the water world.
That
world is so
3?
hard. Yes. Oh my gosh. And I was doing fine until I got to that. So you know how each world has like a castle, like the halfway point of each world. There's like that little mini castle that you go to. That I could not get past because all those, you go through there and there's all those doors. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah.
But there's like, and I couldn't find the right door and I kept dying and I ran out of lives.
I thought that one was hard at first, but then I just started going through the doors, and then eventually I found the right door. Like at first I went through, I saw there were multiple doors, and I thought, well, it's not the first one. It's probably one of the last ones. So I ran all the way to the end, and I checked the last few doors, and I didn't find it. And I just kept dropping back in the water. But, down there, they have the little question boxes that you can go and hit and re-up if you've been knocked down. So they'll have like multiple question boxes down there, and you can build back up to full Tanooki or whatever. And so every time I got hit, I would just either jump right back down there and build myself back up, because there's only like a couple of those little fish to avoid, which aren't that bad. And but I found it eventually. But when I found it, the timer was starting to run out. Like it had already done the little, excited timer. And then I hit the one it's not the one that you take up to the bad guy. It's the one that's on a platform, and you get, I think, a 1-up or something off of it. And then I went back through the door, and whenever I was down there, I recognized that the one I wanted was right next to it. So I just went back in the door and went to the one next to it. And sure enough, it took me right there. So then I just went in, and those bad guys are so easy to those main bosses are really easy to take out. The little spiky guys, you just jump on them constantly.
Oh yeah, those guys are easy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you made it there.
I couldn't even get. I made it there. I kept having issues with the time on it because you would think after going through it several times I'd be able to find that door, but I kept that's where I couldn't get past that. And yeah,
that world did
that's so.
That world did rough on me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, I don't know what it is about water worlds. Like I'm a huge Mario fan. I've played I think every single one of them except for Sunshine, which I need to fix. But of course, I think Sunshine is just a bunch of water as it is.
Yeah.
But it seems like all the water worlds in the Mario games are just I have such a hard time with those. And I don't know why that is. They are. They are nice because you're moving slower.
Yeah, he can't swim. It's hard to. The controls are sloppy. He's all over the place. And if you don't have spitballs, you are just helpless out there.
Yeah.
And even if you get the frog, which is nice,
you can go
in any direction real easily.
Yep.
But you don't have any kind of you have no no offense, so you can't find
no offense at all. No,
you're avoiding. Yeah,
you can't. Yep. Yeah, it's a rough world, and I was playing through that, and I quickly remembered why I used the whistles as a kid to get past that level, because that was, oh man, that was tough. But how far did you get?
Okay, I'm still going. Okay. I have not ran out of lives yet. I've been playing for a few hours today, and I got to that world, and that world was the roughest for me so far. But I haven't made it much past that. Now, if you get past that first castle and you make it to level 4 in World 3 there is a secret to getting extra lives. So you can go through that world, that level, and you're gonna want to leave the turtles alone when you go through it. So don't touch the turtles.
Okay.
Knock off every other enemy. And then you'll probably take one of the turtles and knock out the flower that comes out of the warp pipe that's dangling down, because he's going to bug you if you don't. And then leave the other 2 turtles alone and continue on down just a little bit further. And there's going to be one of those cloud guys that throws spiky balls. Have him follow you back to the turtles. Grab one of the turtles and then stand under that upside down warp pipe and kick it off, and it'll bounce between the bricks. And he's going to continue dropping spiky guys down there, but he can't hit you if you stand right in the middle on top of these 2 blocks. And the turtle goes back and forth, and you can just get 51 ups right there. Just let the time expire, get your 51 ups, and then come back in and do it as many times as you want. So I did that.
That's great. That is
I just did it once.
Yep.
Yeah. And it took me like 10 lives to get it, though, because it's rough. That's a hard one. But there's no water to avoid, luckily. I found the hardest one, I think, was right after that. And you've got the world where the ground keeps lowering into the water and then coming up and then lowering and coming up. And you got that big chompy fish going back and forth, and he'll swallow you. That one sucked up a lot of my lives trying to get through that guy. So I finished out World 4 with 32 lives left. And I'm now in I finished out World 3. Sorry, that was 3. I finished out 3 with 32 lives left. And I'm now in World 4, Level 4. I was playing whenever you came up. And that's about as far as I've gotten so far.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's all the big stuff, which looks like a lot of fun. And really, I find it like after doing 3 and you go into 4, it's a little easier. I feel like they brought the difficulty back down because they made everything so much bigger. So the obstacles are bigger.
Yeah.
But it's not as difficult. Like the enemies aren't as crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I remember getting to that level as a kid, and I was just that was my
Yeah.
favorite world.
Yeah.
Was the giant world because I thought it was just so cool that you were, everything was so much bigger, and I don't know. I
Yes.
think that just the scale of everything, you're like, whoa, I haven't seen it like this before because I'm always Mario. That's a lot bigger than
Proportional. Yeah.
well, at least proportional,
Or
yeah, to everything
double
else.
on some of them.
And
Yeah.
yep. And yeah, I just thought I was just blown away. I remember playing through that and I was just blown away as a kid. But yeah, so what do you remember like playing this as a kid and kind of what is there any like world that stuck out with you as a kid when you played it or?
Really 1 and 2. I blew straight. I don't know about you. I blew straight through 1. I didn't lose a single life.
Yes.
I got knocked back a couple of times, but I didn't lose a life. And that one was like second nature. That was a breeze to go through. I even went and I did the extra one that you don't have to do to complete the whole thing, And that one was I just blew right past it. I even went and I collected the whistles just because. And so yeah, I think
I did the same thing.
Yeah, because why not, right? It gets through the castle a lot quicker too. Yeah. But yeah, I think 1 and 2 stand out to me the most. I remember the sun being in the second world, being the one that aggravated me the most when he would swoop down and everything.
Yes.
And it took me a long time to learn, just run through that level. Like you don't really need to stop for anything. Just haul it through it, jump over him as you need to, and you'll be fine. And, but yeah, I think those two stood out the most to me because, we always got the warp whistles. Like Nintendo Power came out and they were like, hey, here's the shortcut. There's no save states or anything. So you might as well just jump to the end. And then that's what we do. We just warp whistle our way out. And I don't think I ever played. I don't think I really played 3 and 4 much. Anything between 2 and 8 didn't get played a whole lot.
Yeah, I kind of seem to remember that as well because this was a game that everybody had. Like a lot of people had the original Super Mario Brothers, and it was usually the one that was bundled with the Duck Hunt. But so a lot of people had that, but then the other game that I feel like every single person had, anybody's house that I went over to, it was Super Mario Brothers 3. And yeah, just like you're saying, everybody, I'd play it with people or I'd watch people play it, and we would always get those whistles and you'd get past World 2 and you'd just blow the whistle and you'd move on. And like, I don't even remember, I actually had to, I had to look on Google. I don't remember the Skyland, the Iceland, or the Pipeland very much because I haven't been able, recently, like this last week, I haven't had time to sit down and like, complete the game. I've been able to play it quite a bit for the show, but I haven't been able to, get all the way through it yet. Cause we're old and we have, families and things that responsibilities, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, I always remember, people be like, my friends be like, get the whistle, because we've got to get to World 8 so we can finish the game. And it's so funny to me because it's like, you want to play a game? Yeah, let's play Mario. Okay, let's get it done as quick as we can. Let's just be done with it. I'm sure that wasn't our mentality, but it was just like, I want to beat the game. But with that, I don't ever remember actually beating the game.
No, I don't think I
remember getting to World 8. Yeah. And I'm hopeful maybe I could do it now. Like I feel like I'm fairly good at Mario, or I thought that until I got to World 3 here.
See, maybe that's the problem. We always skipped it. So like 1 and 2 were just like second nature, but everything else is just so much harder because you didn't play it that much. But there's other people that played it a lot probably were just like, oh, that's so easy. You just do X, Y, and Z. But yeah, I remember 8, I think I would usually make it like maybe level 4 or 5. And I don't remember much past like the first couple levels. I remember there was one of them that I'd always save the P-Wing for. and I would fly through it and just get to the end of that one. But
yeah, because they were all those, like they were all like the tanks and the airships, like every level was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In 8. Yeah.
And there was one of them that you could take the P-Wing and you could go immediately back and under the ship as it's flying and just fly under the ship the whole level and then pop up on the other end and take the pipe to the main bad guy. And I would always do that because it was just...
I remember that now that you're saying.
Yeah. And that was an easy one.
A free level you can get past.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And then there was that one with the tanks that it was just like constantly pushing, constantly churning tanks. And then I think there was like a fire one.
That was like, yeah. Those were like the Super Mario Maker. Like, have you seen like videos on YouTube of people that have made these nuts, just Super Mario levels in Super Mario Maker? That was like the original. That World 8, because you're just like, you have to have like perfect platforming and timing to get around like a lot of those, like you're saying, like the vents that are breathing fire and the cannonballs that are coming at you, and yeah, it was tough. I still remember, so let me back up, I guess. Like that, how I learned to play Mario, like you were talking about in that sun level, is to just run through the whole thing. So like ever since I played this one, I always, anytime I play Mario, even like the new ones, like if I'm playing like Super Mario Wonder with Harper or whatever, like I am holding down that run button and I leave my thumb on that and then I just hit the jump button, when I need to get past something. And like when I was playing this on Switch, I ended up remapping the controls so it was easier for me to, just hold that run button down to jump. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt what you were saying. Go right ahead.
No. Yeah, that brings up an excellent point. A question I had: the run. Whenever you play, I've almost always got the run held down. I'm constantly running, even if I'm standing still. My thumb is on that run button, ready to go. That's the only way I move around the map. Are you the same way, or do you toggle on and off of it?
No, it's constantly on. The only time it's not is in the newer Marios, if like they have the levels where like you jump and the platforms switch, and stuff like that. Like if it's like super precise platforming I need to do, that's the only time I don't do it. But it's my thumbs on that thing all the time.
I found that was the hardest skill to impart when teaching the younglings how to play the Mario is hold down that run button. That's that's how you're going to be able to clear those giant chasms, because just watching them try and walk up to it and then jump across it and keep dying with frustration. Hey, just hold down that run button, run up to it, jump it. It took them a while to get that one down, but I think whenever
that's the only way.
Yeah, I think whenever that Mario, what's the one? Mario Odyssey. I think whenever that came out, Bruce played that one a lot and really got into Mario with that one. And I think that taught him the Mario way, if you will. And he really honed his Mario skills on that one for sure. And in Mario Maker, he really had a lot of fun with. But talking about that big pipe world being your favorite from the game, it was my favorite too. It was my favorite Mario level for the longest time until I played New Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo DS. Do you remember that one?
I don't. So yes, I remember it. I remember owning it, but it's been a long time since I played it. I don't remember any of the levels on there really. The Mario, like the new Super Mario Brothers that I remember more is the one that was out for Wii.
Oh yeah. I think that was the same one.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I could be wrong. I think so, yeah. But yeah, so that big level was my favorite until I played New Super Mario, and that's where Mario gets to be big and bash through the levels, and then that became probably my favorite part of the whole Mario franchise, is just being that giant Mario and just leveling everything. I haven't really got to play much of the new
that was
Mario
fun.
Wonder with the elephant that you can be and all the different animals and stuff like that. We got it. I haven't really had much of a chance to play it. You said you've been playing it with Harper?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of like you with it. We have it, and Harper and I once in a while will play it. I kind of have to wait for her to be ready for it, because otherwise she wants to play other games. But my favorite one was 3D World, that was on, I think, Wii U, and then they re-released it for Switch with like that Bowser's Fury DLC or something. That one was a lot of fun.
I played that one a little bit. I think I played the Bowser's Fury more than anything.
Yeah, because that one's got Peach in it, and like I think I wish Peach was in 3, because they used her in 2.
Yeah,
but she has that float ability, and she gets just that extra like half second of hang time, and always
like Luigi with his little flutter legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
did you know?
No, what?
No, you go ahead.
Oh no, you were winding up something. What was that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So when you start this game up, there's like a curtain.
Yeah.
That kind of comes up, and then the characters and everything are behind there. So they originally had designed this to be like, it was going to be like the story of the game was going to be like it was a play.
Oh, okay.
And you were watching the play. So that's why there's some of those levels that have like the platforms look like they're suspended by bolts and ropes and stuff like that. And it looks like there's some depth, like behind them, there's nothing there.
Yeah. That's why they're so
I was watching on YouTube. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I didn't know that, and I was watching. There's a YouTube channel that I watch called "What's So Great About Gaming," that they go into like development things for games and kind of the reasons why they did certain things with them. So if you're into gaming, like, and how they're made, that's a really cool channel. Check out. Tell them that we sent you. So, but yeah.
So whenever I played, I always I always liked the mini games. What was your favorite mini game to play in this one? Like in between the different levels, you got like the little toadstool, you got the 3-line match, and then you got like the match 'em. What is it? Turn the card and match 2 of them game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think there was
that one was my favorite.
Yeah. Because that one paid out really well. Like you could just, especially because you could sit there with we'd sit there with a sheet of paper and map them out. And then I think there were only like 9 different ones. And once you had them all mapped out, you hit like a certain one and you know which map you're on, and then you can just win every time.
Yeah, so I like that one. I was always terrible with the, it's like the 3 things, and you have to match the top, middle, and bottom thing. Whatever that thing was called. Yeah. I was always terrible. I'm still terrible with it. Yeah. When I was playing with it, just this week, I didn't win any one of those.
I think I won one, and it was just after the first couple trying, I just hit A and go through them. I just A my way through them. And I think I got one of them, and it was the first time I did that, and I was like, "Oh, this is the way to go. I'm just going to A it every time," and then I never won another one. And then the little matching game I had coming up, and I cleared like half of it the first time I played it. And I was like, "Oh, this is awesome. I'm doing really good." And then I lost, but I remembered my 4 cards and where they were. And so the next time it came up, there was such a delay between it that I forgot where everything was, and I didn't get any matches. Yeah. And it came up 3 more times, and I still can't get a match on it. I keep forgetting which one's which, and It's just all mixed up now, and I think I've become too reliant on the Nintendo Switch and being able to like suspend and back up a little bit. Because now whenever I play it, I'll suspend and back up and just keep flipping the cards until I clear that board.
What a cheat!
Oh yeah. The way I see it, I've already played the game so many times. That's not what it's about.
Yeah, it's about having fun with it now. Yeah. I had not thought about doing that though. That's a good idea.
Yeah, but you got to wait until you're in there with it. If you back up beyond the point that the cards have been generated, like I think you get new ones every time you go back into that little floating card. So once you go into it, that's where your point of backing up is. Like you don't want to go too far back. Mm-hmm. So what was the? So you said the hardest one was 3-3, the castle on 3, that first castle.
Yes.
Yeah. I think 3 was probably the hardest world for me as well. And what was your favorite in this game from every time you played it? What was probably your favorite power up you ever used?
I was just getting ready to ask you that. It's the raccoon.
Tanooki?
Not the Tanooki.
Oh, not the Tanooki. Oh, the regular leaf.
No, the Tanooki's the one that you can turn to stone.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I growing up, I never really got to that point with the Tanooki, but the raccoon suit they just give you early on.
Oh yeah.
And
I don't think they give you the Tanooki until
that
like
quite a bit.
One of the later levels. I think it's like 7 or 8 until you get it.
Yeah.
So
what was your favorite one?
Oh man. Yeah, I think it's got to be the. Well, I mean, there's 2 ways to look at it. I think the power leaf is. I think the P-wing is probably the best one because you're constantly flying. And that's kind of the whole point of the Tanooki is being able to, or the whole point of the raccoon is being able to do the flying maneuver. And so if you're just constantly being able to fly, that's really nice. The only downside is it only lasts the one level that you're on. And then you just have like a regular leaf. So that one's probably my favorite, but I think the most useful one is the frog suit. Whenever you get into those water levels and you need to swim around, that frog suit is amazing. I had 3 of them in my little flip inventory thing, but I didn't get to a level really that like there's only one level I got to where I had to do a whole lot of swimming, and it really wasn't that much. And I remembered that whenever I drop down and I go backwards far enough, there was the first ribbit suit. And so I got that and used it in that level, but then the level was over really quick. And then the next one was the boss battle, and I'm stuck in this frog suit, which is incredibly slow on land. So I got knocked down and then switched it out. But yeah, I think they both have their place. I think the frog suit in very specific situations is the most useful one to have. But if I could have anyone in every level, it'd be the P-wing. Unless it's a water world.
Yeah. Well, if we're going to be completely honest and look at every power up, I would say give me the star in every level.
Oh yeah.
And just let me use it the whole ride through.
That's true. I can't remember. Can you get Hammer Bro a power up in this one? I can't remember.
No, but you can get a hammer that allows you to break the rocks.
It breaks the rocks, but I didn't know if there was like you could throw a hammer. I couldn't remember if there was or wasn't.
I don't think so. I don't remember that. That's not to say it's not in there, but I don't. I would think I'd have like a good memory of that.
I've got it
because that'd be such a cool power. Is there?
Yeah, I forgot. I have it pulled up on the other tab. There is a hammer suit. Oh, I forgot about the shoe. Remember the shoe when you bounce and you could just walk over things? That was an awesome one.
Yeah, you walk over
the
piranha
super
plants
leaf
and
is
everything.
the Raccoon Mario. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's not that many. I mean, there's Fire Mario, there's Frog Mario, there's Hammer Mario, there's the shoe the P-Wing, the Invincible Mario, Raccoon Mario, Super Mario, that's just Mario with a mushroom, and Tanooki Mario. So not that much.
It's kind of cool how they you can look at those and you can see how they've used them in later games. So like you've got the frog, but I remember in Mario 3D World, they've got the cat that you can use to like climb up walls and stuff with. And then of course the elephant in Wonder. And then the boot kind of reminds me of the hat in Odyssey when Mario can throw his hat, and then transform into like whatever, he wants to be. So we're talking about Super Mario Brothers 3. I would be remiss if I did not mention. Have you ever heard of the movie The Wizard?
Oh yeah.
1989.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much one big Nintendo commercial. If you haven't seen it, 1989. It's got Fred Savage, Christian Slater. I don't remember who else. Bo Bridges, I think, was in it. About
made everybody want a power
Slater's
glove,
in it.
For sure.
Yeah, I think he plays like this. Yes, it did. Yeah. So the movie is just about a kid that's like got autism, and him and his brother are trying to. I don't even remember what they're trying to do. It didn't really matter. Yeah. But he's like, his thing, since he's autistic, his thing that he like zeroes in on is video games. And so they're like hustling people at arcades and stuff like that. And they meet this kid, Lucas, that's got the power glove because it's so bad. And I think that they debuted the power glove in this movie too. But yeah, to tie it all in, the climax of the movie is they're showing off Super Mario Brothers 3. They end up getting to this video game competition, and it's a big reveal, Super Mario Brothers 3. And I was looking into that, and I guess that's how Nintendo released this movie, or what's the word I'm looking for? Not released it.
Announced this movie in America, or this game. The game. I can't talk. Yeah. That's how they announced Super Mario Brothers 3 in America, is they announced it in this movie like 3 months before they released Super Mario Brothers 3 or something like that. Wow. It's something you could only do in the 80s. Like, you couldn't get away with that.
So I thought that was pretty neat. Absolutely.
Not with the internet.
Absolutely. No.
So did you have speaking of the mini games, whenever you played the treasure box selection game, the hidden shell game, or whatever you want to call it, you got 3 treasure boxes to pick from. Did you have a method for going in and picking the best box, or did you just jump down there and select one randomly?
I just jumped down there and selected one, and then the next time, like if I got some trash like a mushroom, then the next time I'm like, I ain't picking that box, which it doesn't matter. It's all random anyway. But then, and it happened to me. So this happened to me. I got in there. I picked the first box, and it was a junk mushroom. I'm like, I don't need to get bigger. I need the leaf, or I need a star, or the
flower,
the fireballs. I need that. Yeah, I don't need this junk thing. And then I went to the next one, and I'm like, I'm picking a different treasure chest. I picked a different treasure chest. I get that same stupid mushroom again.
Another mushroom.
So at that point, I'm just like, just picking whatever. And,
just picking whatever. I always think that, I remember as a kid thinking, I'm going to trick it, and I'm going to walk over to one box, like I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to double back real quick and pick a different one. And it's going to trick it in to give me the right one, because it's always putting me on that mushroom.
That worked. That's how our minds worked back then.
Or made any bit of difference.
Yeah.
Now, there's one thing that I always do, and it's kind of along those lines, and I still find myself doing it, and I don't know why, but whenever I beat the Koopa Kid at the end on their airship, for some reason, every time they shoot up, as the wand is falling, I will jump up and grab it, so that I'm frozen in the middle of the screen holding that wand.
Yep.
I don't know why, but that just brings me eternal joy, is catching that wand. And if I don't catch the wand, it almost wasn't worth it.
There's something that's just so satisfying about doing that, and then you come down and Toad is all happy, and the wand bounces off the ground. The king picks it up, and he's himself again. And I remember just feeling so accomplished every time I would do that when I played this game.
Yeah, for some reason that brought joy to me, and still does, playing the game. So we had an arrangement, or not a bet, a deal. Upon revisiting this game, we were going to see how far we could get before we lost all of our lives and hit the continue screen, right? Allowing for collecting 1-ups and all the other things. And, I made it. I'm still going. I'm in World 4-4 right now. And you tapped out at the first castle in 3. That's where you ran out of lives. Where did you lose your first life on the replay? Do you remember?
It was in one of the desert levels. I think it was with the sun. Even though I know you just keep running. Yeah, you'll avoid it. I think he hit me.
He got you.
So I got a decent ways,
I think you got a little further than me, because I made it. My first death was in World 2, and it was that first castle. And for some reason, it was whenever the little skeleton Koopa turtles or whatever, the skeleton turtles, they got me. I forgot that whenever you crush them, the other ones will turn the other direction whenever they run into them, instead of going through them. And so I crushed one, and I went to jump over to avoid the next one, and I ended up landing right in front of him as he turned around, and then he got me, and that was game over. That was my first game over. And it seems like as soon as I hit that first game over, I hit like 3 or 4 in a row. Like, it was almost as if like a weight had been lifted or something, and I died in rapid succession. But then I got back on and continued on with little error after that. But it just feels like once I died, there's always like a certain point on each level or world that I guess proves difficult, and that's where I start dying, and then I just keep dying over and over and over again. And it's like a little hill, but as soon as I get over it, then I'm fine again for a while.
Yeah, that's the water world for me. I know I'll keep playing it, and I'll eventually get over it. But it's what I really should do is I should use the cloud that Peach gives you after you beat the second world that allows you to skip one level.
Yep.
And I didn't think about that until just now.
But if you don't beat the one after it,
a little farther,
it'll bump you back,
hitting a game over screen. But yeah, that's true. Yep.
Yeah.
So
and that's where
it'd be worth it.
Yeah, that's where I'm always afraid to use that cloud, is because if you don't beat whatever the next one is after you jump over it, then it's kind of pointless. And at the same time, it's like, well, then I never use it. So maybe I just need to use it. Yeah. I think I'm looking for a sure footing is what is my problem. Maybe if those little hammer bros afterwards.
Yeah.
They give you a good checkpoint.
Yeah. I always have a hard time using any of those power-ups, because I'm like, am I going to use this and then just get hit by something in the beginning of the level, and then I don't have it anymore. So I'm going to keep it in my back pocket, but then I never use it. So unless it's the whistle.
The whistle, that's right. So do you remember playing 2-player on this game? And you could go and play that little mini game against one another. And I don't know if you remember playing that much as kids, but I feel like I probably owe you an apology going in there and stealing your lives, because that's something you can do in that particular ground. So on behalf of the younger me, I want to apologize for stealing all your lives as kids.
Okay. I remember playing it with you, and I liked how you could, like if you beat a world as Luigi or a level as Luigi, it would have the L up where it was completed at. And then if you beat it as Mario, because am I remembering it right? Like you had to take turns on the levels, but I mean you couldn't both be in the same level at the same time. But like somebody died, then the next person, or maybe it's you beat a level and then the next person gets to play.
It was either when you died or you beat a level, then it was the next person's turn.
Okay.
But yeah, so we would alternate the level. So you always wanted to be, I remember the frustration I always had was I wanted to be Mario, but I knew mathematically if I was Mario, those first couple levels we would play through, whenever that first whistle level came up, you would have that level. And I wouldn't get the first whistle, you would. Mm-hmm. And then I was always afraid that you were going to use it before we could get the second whistle. So you would get the first one, and I would remind you, hey, don't go using that whistle yet. We need to save that so we can get the other one.
I bet I used it.
Probably a couple times. Hence the reason why I reminded you not to.
I had to have, yeah, because you exactly. I guarantee you, it was just to irritate you. I 1,000% guarantee you. That's why I did it.
That was your job.
It was. I don't remember. Did we first play this? Did you? I remember when you would come up for the summer. I know you would bring like your game systems. But I don't remember if you brought your NES or maybe I had an NES at the time.
We both
I don't
had
remember.
one.
Or maybe it was at Aunt Kathy's that we first did. We okay.
Yeah.
I knew that there was a point where you had SNES and I had the Genesis.
Yeah. That's whenever I would bring them both up. But whenever it was just the Nintendo time, we both had one. And I left mine at home because you had the version 2, the top loader one. I remember that. And you had like Kirby and the Marios and Joe and Mac, I think. Or that was Super Nintendo. There was what was that? Dizzy the Egg? The non-official Nintendo ones. There was a couple of those you had. Like it was like Dizzy the Egg.
Oh,
and
yes.
Else.
Yeah. Gosh, I wish I still had those. Like now I'm trying to go back and like rebuild my collection, and it will cost me a small fortune to buy a lot of those games back.
Right. Yeah. Especially those third-party, like non-official Nintendo ones. Those are harder to come by. Unless it's the 10-gen ones.
Yeah.
The 10-gen ones...
Yep.
And other than like I think the first round of 10-gen,
everybody's
they're
got those things.
Come by. Yeah. Well, I think that covers Mario 3. I don't have much else for it. What else you got for it? I think I'm about tapped on it. I mean, it's a fun game. I still enjoy playing it.
I think so too.
My only issue, if I have one, and it's really not an issue with the game, is whenever they put out recently they put out that Game & Watch for Mario, and they put out the one for Zelda too. Whenever they put out the one for Zelda, it comes with the Legend of Zelda, and it comes with the Link game, the Zelda 2 or Link or whatever.
The Adventure of Link.
It comes with the Adventure of Link, yeah. And it comes with Link's Awakening, the Game Boy one, the first Game Boy one. So you get the first 3 Zelda games. And I think there's like a mini game on there too. So you get like the 3 core first Zelda games. But on that Mario one, I believe the only game it comes with is the first Mario game. And I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't put the first 3. Or at least 1 and 3. You can skip 2. I don't care.
Like, why not?
But 1 and 3. Yeah. I would love to have that for just pocket gaming and carrying. I take the Zelda one with me every once in a while, and I'll play on it for a little bit here. I leave it at my desk, and if I'm sitting there waiting for something to process, I'll play on it for a few minutes. And I mean, I still can't get anywhere on Zelda 2, but I'm trying.
You need a guide for that one. Yeah.
I do.
But yeah, it's like Nintendo owns these IPs. It's not like they, somebody else owns them now, owns Mario now, and they can't do that. Like, that's crazy to me why they wouldn't have put those other two on there. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's just
like final thoughts.
NES hardware.
Yeah, exactly.
Final thoughts.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the final thoughts for me, I clearly like Super Mario Brothers 3, like I said, everybody that had a Nintendo at home, an original NES, they had this game. Like, there was nobody that I knew that didn't at least have Super Mario Brothers 3. They would have Super Mario Brothers 3 before they had the original Super Mario Brothers. It was so popular.
It's the best game, I think.
So, yeah, that's my... It is. It's probably the best game on the NES. Somebody could probably argue with me on that. That's fine. But I think it probably is the best game on the NES.
Around.
It's... Yeah, exactly. But it is not my favorite Mario game. I said, I think I said that earlier in the episode. That goes to Super Mario 3D World. But there are so many things that the Mario franchise built on because of this game. Right. Just the worlds, the overworlds, and the suits, and everything. And we wouldn't have the Mario we've got now if we didn't have Super Mario Bros. 3. It's a classic. It's great, and you can't beat it.
You can't beat it. I mean, we haven't beaten it yet.
No, you literally can't beat it.
That's right. We have not beaten it yet. Have you? So, my final thought is not related so much to the game, but whenever I fired up, because I played it on the Switch. Did you play it on the Switch as well?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I don't actually own a physical copy of this one. This is one that I'm looking for, but I'm looking for the right price for it.
I don't think I have an extra one. I think I've only got my one. But so whenever I fired it up on my Switch and it brought up the Nintendo catalog that they have there, did you notice that there were 2 games that they added in? And one of them is a game that I almost forgot about, but it was one of my favorite games, and I threw it on the list. It probably will get bundled with a different game because I don't think it's its own episode, but it'll get talked about in the future, is Snake, Rattle, and Roll. Did you ever play that one?
No. I have not.
All right.
I saw it on there, but I haven't played it. But I would love to do it.
Yeah. I put that on the list. We'll probably we'll touch on it with some other ones because it's definitely not an entire episode game, but I think it deserves a little mention on something. So we'll work that into a future episode. But that was Super Mario Brothers 3, and I think that's all my final thoughts. So I'll let you close it out.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're following along, I hope you are. We're having a great time just going through this journey week by week. Next week, we are going to go back, not quite as far in time, but when I was in high school, and I think you weren't, but your younger days, we're going to check out we're going to check out the first Halo on the OG Xbox. Such a great game. So many memories with that. I cannot wait to talk with you about this one. So,
yes, getting to go back and play it, I know is going to be a lot of fun, and I know that whenever I tell Bruce that I'm going back to play this one next week, he's going to want in on it. He really enjoys Halo, so that'll be fun to play with him a little bit. We'll have to see if I don't know, maybe we might try and get together and play online and play a little together before next week.
Sure. Yeah. I'll have to get it.
The schedules align.
I need to dust off my copy. I've got the Master Chief Collection physical copy of that, so I'll have to dust that off and get that get that installed. But yeah, we will have to get together and see if we can't check that out. So
yeah.
All right. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing next week. Hope you can join us. Until then, we've reached another checkpoint. Don't forget to be kind and rewind. Until next time.
See you then.
This podcast takes tokens is a Clay Street production.
All right. I think I have one post-credit thought that I'm going to sneak in. I'm going to cut it off here.
Okay.
And we did the 80s playlist a couple of weeks back, and I was thinking about two songs that I don't know that we mentioned, and it feels like a crime that we didn't. And that is Video Killed the Radio Star. Because I feel like that's a pretty hard 80s song that just got completely skipped, and I want to put that in my honorable mentions category. And was it Dire Straits? What was that song? The one,
Money for Nothing.
Money for Nothing. Thank you. Yes, I could hear the song in my head, and I was like, "That's not the title." I'm singing through the song. Yeah. That's not the title. There it is. Money for Nothing. Yes, Money for Nothing. That's another one that just like that goes on my honorable mentions, and it should have, and it didn't, and I want to correct that now.
There we go.
So I'm gonna leave it there.